Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. It's Thursday. Oftentimes it's a little bit of a disturbance day. Turbulent Thursday. Oftentimes happens. I've just found that out in my many years of business performance coaching, and I hopefully you will have a minimal amount, and perhaps you can move into Friday and be prepared to have a good restful Friday because you're thinking about the future. You've gotten much of the mess cleaned up from the week, and you're going to give some good thought to having a good weekend. And then, of course, be ready to meet the marketplace on Monday with some new creativity, insight, and maybe ways you can make an impact. This is Impact Day, and we're going to talk about that. And if you want to make an impact in your life and business, and in perhaps some parts of the world, perhaps these 15 or 20 minutes might be helpful to you. I'm Stan Houston, business performance coach, podcaster, broadcaster, and a few other things. And the program begins right now. Well, it didn't take long for it to no longer be a happy new year. Here we are on the fourth day, and as I read through the news, everything from the Epstein lists to some of the chaos and stuff going on in the rest of the world, we're back to normal. And a normal is probably not going to be happy most of the time. It's going to be a challenging year in many ways. And we want it to be a good year for us, but we're not going to be able to depend on the external circumstances of government and other institutions and some of the things that we hope will make things better. For the most part, we'll have to make an impact, and we'll have to be the ones who make the impact ourselves. I just saw today and Strategy in Business, and a gentleman named Adam Bryant put out something that got me right away, and I'll obviously tell you why, but here's the statement. He said, leadership beyond purpose statements. You know those nice, fuzzy, warm, great, ambitious purpose statements that businesses are supposed to make now. He continues, fuzzy claims to greater ambition are starting to feel like just another corporate fad. And then he said this, it's time to replace them with impact statements. Yes. And so if you want to look it up, it's in Strategy in Business. His name is Adam Bryant. Beyond purpose statements, and I'll let him tell you the story because I'll just use that as a way to tell a little bit of the story that we're trying to create. Interesting Ideas is the name of the program, and we've got about 7 different ways that we think an idea can be interesting, and that's, you probably don't care about that, but that's how I do my internal work. Hey, interesting ideas lead to imagination. And imagination can lead to greater insight because you begin to combine things that are with maybe things that could be. You have greater insight. You see bigger pictures. You see bigger possibilities. So, interesting ideas. Greater imagination, greater insight, then you will have influence, and then you go for the big one, impact, and impact drives income. That's right. If you want to have income, something has to have happened. Not just an idea, not just a piece of influence, not just an influence that was brought to you because you had greater insight, but you impacted something. And so here's the point, which obviously he's getting to, is change your mission statement, change your purpose statement for this year, 24, make it an impact statement. Now, one of the things that we have put together, and it was really something that came to me as a result of my new affiliation with the Rotarians. Now, I literally, as I said, I've been late for half a century. I had the privilege when I was 17, as a senior in high school, I was made a junior Rotarian for a month. There were 3 in the senior class of our high school. And what it meant was that we simply were given time off from school during the lunch hour to go to one of the local Rotary meetings. You know, this is a smaller city in Iowa, so it was the Rotary Club at the better hotel in town. And we got to attend their Rotary meetings. And I enjoyed that. And of course, the gentlemen, and it was almost all gentlemen at that time. I think it was all gentlemen at that time. It wasn't until the Supreme Court got on the Rotary Club that they actually allowed women to be members. Though I think women could occasionally come as a guest, maybe, but not a member. Yeah, things have changed. And I like that. And I met a number of people through the years, and in fact, my good friend Lauren was always saying, Stan, you are a Rotarian. You always put service above self. Why don't you join? That's our motto. Well, when I made the move from Arizona to Carolina, I was ganged up on by 3 of my good friends and clients and colleagues. So I'll thank Deb, one of the insurance gurus of the country, and Scott Franco, truly one of the most creative designers in the country. And they said, Stan, make sure you join a Rotary Club. And so I did. And that's where I've learned a little bit about the fact that they had just begun a little fellowship where you didn't have to be, if you couldn't afford all of the dues, or perhaps you could maybe afford them, but because of your job, you couldn't make, the meetings that often. So that you could be an impact member, which means that you could be part of some of the service clubs, and that you could attend the meetings just when you wanted to, rather than when you should or have to. And you would simply pay for the lunch rather than, getting it as part of your dues. And I've really enjoyed that. It tends to be, unlike me, a lot of younger people who, and that's a good thing, because like every service club and every organization and institution, there's as one man says, there's a lot of gray out here and in here. And it would be nice if we could perhaps bring in a little more sparkle life and somebody who would shake us up from time to time. And this is a way to do that. And so I thought more and more, that's the goal. And so my friend Scott, as a designer, helped me wonderful, it's an I. And around it, it is called the Impact Project. The Impact Project. And it's designed to help you go through certainly some teaching and training, most importantly, fellowship, communication, and participation, and service, to help you have greater impact in your life, in your business, and in your service to others. And here's the little slogan underneath. How to make good friends, reach your audience, and put service over self. May I say that again now? Because I'll tell you where it came from. Okay. The Impact Project. Here we go. Not how to win friends, how to make good friends. Not, influence people, but think about this. How to reach your audience. Everybody has one, or they all need one. There are people in your circle, people who can listen, people who you can serve in your business. Everybody has an audience, and the goal is to be able to reach them and engage with them. Learn how to reach people using the modern media and many of the skills that Dale Carnegie taught almost 80 plus years ago. And then, what the Rotary says, service above self, and we changed it just a little bit, not to kind of mess with them, but service over self. There we go. So, what I would like to do is tell you that that's a program, and here's what it is. It is an attempt to update, for those of us 80 years later, to update the very ideas of Dale Carnegie in How to Win Friends and Influence People. And if you haven't read it, even though it is 80 years old, it has been revised and updated by other people. It's still a bestseller. And by the way, as I point out when people talk about writing a book, Dale Carnegie used something that we teach. He didn't write that best-selling book. What it was as this younger man tried to become successful after having nothing in life to start with, he was making it happen. And so he found a way to give little evening lectures to the young men in the YMCA in New York City. Now, you see, that was oftentimes the YMCA, was a way for younger men, and of course then later on the YWCA, the Young Women's Christian Association. You could come to the big city and you couldn't even afford an apartment, but you could stay at the Y, which was a single, inexpensive, relatively room, had no bathroom. You had to go down the hall to use the bathroom and the shower, but that's where they would, spend their evenings. And there were places for recreation. But he gave these little lectures, and he hired a stenographer, someone who could write shorthand, though that's not necessarily what they do anymore, to take notes and copy down what he said. And then that was edited and published in a book. And so, as I point out, he didn't write the book. And this is what you can do now. He performed the book. That's right, he performed it. And then the performance was transcripted. The transcript was put into text. The text was edited. Bingo! Without ever writing a word or touching a key, you got yourself a book. And that's what he did many, many years ago. By the way, that's what we teach people to do today. Particularly, you do a podcast and then you turn it into an article or a book or whatever else. So we're in the business of helping people who say, Stan, I want to make an impact in my life and business. Can you help me do that? And I would like to suggest that we can help. We have a number of programs. One of them is simply how to be a world-class podcaster. If you'd like to learn how to sell and market you, we have a program called The Marketing Life. That's right, how to sell and market you, because everything you say and everything you do is how you market you. It's a whole new approach to marketing. And of course, we would like to help you be a world-class business performance coach. And those are some of the things that we do to help you make an impact. So my question for you today, here we are on Thursday, the first week of the year, just about done. We know that we're going to have 51 weeks of challenge ahead of us. 24 will not be a bore. It will be challenging. How are we going to get better? And how are we going to make an impact? And wouldn't it be nice if making a greater impact would lead to greater income? Well, you know the answer to that. I'm Stan Houston. The program is Interesting Ideas. We'll be right back. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. I do want to help you. And as someone said, all you have to do is put in Stan Houston on the YouTube search and see what comes up. There are literally hundreds, maybe thousands of different videos, maybe not that many, but close, on a variety of different subjects. Some of them are really good. Some of them are kind of great. Some of them are mediocre. Some of them are poor. And I'd like to take them off. And sometimes I do. But it could be that they could be helpful to you. I really believe that. So reach out to me at stanhouston@gmail.com, stanhouston@gmail.com. 24 will be a challenging year in many, many ways. And we want you to be able to optimistically, with a purpose, power, and poise, be able to meet those challenges. And, as the guy said, make an impact. Take care, my friends. All the best and blessings to you. That's right. Make sure you do that often. Say thank you 100 times a day. And also see if you can perhaps give a blessing to a few people every day. If you do, there's a good chance that somebody will give you one too. Take care. Bye for now.